Coming up, Mike McIntyre of the Winnipeg Free Press, who unfortunately heard all of that. He will join us to discuss the big news out of Jets camp today. Dustin Byfuglien, who was granted a leave of absence by the team last week, is reportedly, emphasize reportedly, considering retirement at the age of 34.
Well, Dustin Byfuglien is a rare combination of size, speed, offensive skill, and willingness to play physical hockey.
Drops it off. Quick shot, scores! Dustin Byfuglien from Rockford to Chicago.
What a hit by Dustin Byfuglien on Pronger. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Byfuglien scores! The Chicago Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup.
Paul Maurice was asking if there was anybody like him. He said, no.
And good old Dustin Byfuglien right in the middle of this one.
Big hit by Dustin Byfuglien.
And Byfuglien fills it in. You got Byfuglien throwing him around like a rag doll.
Back in front, trying to jam it in, scores!
Byfuglien gets the return pass, works the puck around Giordano, cuts out front, scores! What a nice goal by Dustin Byfuglien.
Here comes Byfuglien around full. Byfuglien in on Hudobin, and he scores!
Safe to say when he's healthy, he is among the best.
He is.
What he brings to the table?
I'm a huge fan.
Size, speed, strength, and as you can see, he can score too.
And the future right now, no one is really clear on.
Right.
Mike McIntyre, the Winnipeg Free Press, is inside Bell MTS Place ahead of the Jets preseason game this evening against the Minnesota Wild. Mike has been kind enough to join us. Mike, as if there wasn't enough to talk about with this Jets team in this preseason, what was your impression? What was your first impression upon hearing the retirement talk today?
Well, I think this is where we thought this story was going, guys. I mean, last Friday, of course, the bombshell on day one of training camp to find out that Dustin Byfuglien was not going to be there. And when Paul Maurice made it very clear there was nothing sinister at play, that Dustin Byfuglien and his family's health was fine, I think a lot of speculation turned to whether or not this could be a scenario where he was thinking about whether he wanted to continue playing. This is a guy who, let's face it, had a really tough year last year. 3 different injuries, 2 to his ankles, a concussion, missed half the season. When Dustin Byfuglien is on, as you say, he's as dominant a player in the game, and he also probably has more fun than just about anybody in the game. But I think Dustin Byfuglien, there's another side to him that we don't see that often. He's a bit of an enigma, very deeply private person. I know a lot of people say, how could somebody walk away from $14 million, which is what he still has in his contract. But I think if anybody would do that, it would be Dustin Byfuglien. It sort of fits with what we know of the man.
I know that Winnipeg fans they're balancing this, what the heck's going on with Dustin Byfuglien, with how much different would Kevin Cheveldayoff's offseason been had he known this? And is there going to be a scramble if, in fact, Byfuglien doesn't come back?
Absolutely. I mean, no secret, the Jets' blue line underwent a major transformation already this year, with Jacob Trouba, of course, being traded. Let's face it, the Jets were never going to be able to afford Jacob Trouba, not to mention he wasn't exactly keen on signing here long term. But Tyler Myers and Ben Sherratt, you do wonder, I mean, if they had an inkling that this might be coming, would they have approached those free agents any differently? We certainly know they made a big run at Ben Sherratt right up to Montreal, signing him. Then you got guys like Jake Gardner, who just recently signed with Carolina. It's too little too late now in terms of big-time free agents. The trade market would seem to be the only remedy. And then again, you'd be giving up from another position. And with Patrick Laine and Kyle Connor's situations very much up in the air, I'm not sure how many assets the Jets really have to play with right now. It's all, it's a major distraction for what's going on the ice and what should be a very important training camp for a team that a lot of people still think the window of opportunity to win is there. But that window, with every passing day, seems to be getting more and more shut.
Mike, let's play this out. Dustin Byfuglien isn't a Winnipeg Jet this year for whatever reason. A trade between now and opening night does not happen for another defenseman. Who has to grow up quick here? I mean, the alarm's going off internally at Bell MTS.
Those are the alarms, yeah.
So who grows, like, is Sammy Niku now a former AHL Defenseman of the Year? Is he the guy that really has to step up? Who does the pressure get covered with here?
Yeah, I mean, Neil Pionk, of course, who came over in that Trouba trade, probably already was going to be asked a lot of him, and that may increase. I mean, can Josh Morrissey play 60 minutes, guys? He might earn every dollar of that $50 million extension that he signed last week. This year, this season alone. You're right, Sami Niku for sure. Tucker Pullman, another defenseman. And then a guy like Dmitry Kulikov, a veteran going into the final year of his deal. There was a lot of talk, believe it or not, that Dmitry Kulikov might get bought out by the Jets this year to clear some valuable cap space. Now, Dmitry Kulikov may be one of the most important figures on this team. I mean, how quickly things can change. It's probably appropriate, guys, that as I talk to you right now, I'm here at Bell MTS. I'm sitting in the Budweiser Lounge for fans. It's empty right now, but given all that's going on with this team, this place might fill up quite a lot.
They're going to run out of beer tonight, dude. They're going to run out of beer.
Sell a few of those.
They will be drowning their sorrows.
Kevin
in
Shovel-Dayoff may join the fans in that Budweiser.
And Paul Maurice and Mark Chipman.
First thought, and I understand this, and we've had some time to kind of let it marinate a bit, but first thought, I saw a bunch of people on Twitter rush to, well, now they need, if this happens, they need to get Laine and Connors signed. Get them done, get them in camp, because you're going to need them. Is there a possibility that if Byfuglien doesn't come back, that Kevin Shovel-Dayoff is more apt to trade one of those two for help on defense?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there was already talk, even with Dustin Byfuglien in this lineup, that the Jets' defense might not nearly be adequate enough to take a run at a Stanley Cup. And, you know, a guy like Nikolai Ehlers, for example, his name's been linked to all kinds of trade rumors in recent months. The idea of, do they flip from a position of strength when the Winnipeg Jets, that would be young wingers. They certainly have a surplus of those. They got others, guys like Mason Appleton, Christian Vesalainen, Jack Roslovic coming up. So would they perhaps look at moving from that position of strength to help on the blue line? Kyle Connor, Patrick Laine, of course, are wingers as well with contract stalemates. And so for sure, I mean, I think everything would have to be looked at here, right? This is a bit of an unprecedented situation to have three now star players not in camp and opening night just a couple weeks away. And the Jets are still, I mean, once they get Laine and Connor signed, and depending on what happens on Byfuglien, they're a cap team. This is not a budget team. This is a team that's spending at or near the cap, that still has a young core that wants to win. So do they adjust on the fly and you know, call an audible, I guess, would be the way of looking at it. I mean, I think they'd have to explore that possibility. And, you know, all of this obviously hinges on when they get a decision from Dustin Byfuglien. And that has to be part of, I guess, the frustration and the mystery here, guys, is there is no timeline for this. Obviously, the sooner the better if you're the Jets. But, I mean, how quickly can one make a life-altering decision like that, whether they want to continue their career or not? This, by the way, this is not like a Justin Williams situation where he's a UFA and there's no money to worry about. And let's say he decides later in the year that he wants to come back. Mike Fisher did that, right, with Nashville a couple years ago. Dustin Byfuglien is still on the books. And, you know, it's not like you can just park him off to the side. We're losing light here, guys. Park him off to the side and worry about it later. This has to be dealt with and now.
Well,
darkness has fallen on Winnipeg.
I mean, we're trying to shine light on this Jets story here with Mike McIntyre. And in fitting fashion, we've just lost it for a second. We still get you, Mike. Go ahead.
Let me ask you one tough one, because I think people are wondering this.
There's a lot of darkness around this team right now. A lot of darkness.
Do you think any of the suggested dressing room issues from last year have anything to do with this?
With Dustin Byfuglien, no. I mean, this is a guy he's a dominant personality, right? He's an alternate captain on the team. Here we go again, cast in darkness. Game day. By the way, there's a game that's going to be played here tonight. If people are wondering what's going on, they're kind of getting the rink prepped for an exhibition game here. But no, Dustin Byfuglien, he's a leader on this team. I don't think, other than his own frustration, I don't think anything else would be impacting his decision. I think this is a Dustin Byfuglien situation and nothing else. That's not to say that everything else that went on with this team last year and the frustration of how the season ended certainly added, I think, to the overall frustration that Byfuglien and others felt. But no, I think in this case, this is about a guy who's 34 years of age. His body's already been through a lot. He's already won a Stanley Cup. He's made $50 million over his career. This is a guy who loves fishing and hunting and a pretty simple lifestyle, not a lavish lifestyle. So I don't think the money situation is really a worry. It's about what's best for Dustin Byfuglien and his family. He's got a young family. Maybe he's getting to the point where he's decided, you know what, there's other things out there. I mean, Andrew Luck just did it in the NFL, right? Different situation. But it's not unprecedented for an athlete to maybe look at the bigger picture.
Mike, really appreciate you taking the time. Maybe next time we talk, it can be better news for Winnipeg Jets fans, but shedding a light on the situation, always appreciated. Thank you, sir. Sorry.
My pleasure, guys. Take care.